So what if one simple ritual could change the way you perform in your sport forever? Your confidence starts long before you step into your tack, into the arena, and you need a routine before you get on your horse in a competition, or, this could apply to every day if you're not someone who competes regularly. What if your pre-ride routine is just missing one little ingredient that could make all the difference? Because preparation isn't just physical. Developing your mental rituals is what sets champions apart. So I have a question. Does a pre-riding smile ritual really matter? Well, science says yes, so let's talk about it. All right, well, welcome back to Team Fuego. In this video series, From Falling to Flying, we are outlining the steps to overcome your next fall in competition, to fuel, not only to have a great comeback, but to fuel your next success. How to turn your problems, your challenges into positive outcomes. So we're now on video 3 to determine what our pre-ride rituals should be for success. Video 1 told the story behind the story of why I'm making these videos and gave everybody a fun brain test on how much control they have over their minds. The second one, we talked about how to turn your setbacks into comebacks, the 7-step process that it's actually outlined how to do it. So both of those links are down below, but don't worry, you can pause it, we'll wait for you. All right, so now that we're all caught up, we now need to all determine our own individual pre-ride rituals or routines, whatever word suits your fancy. And the way I see it, riding has 3 phases. 1, the tack up, 2, the warm up, and 3, after you get off. I am also going to give you the absolute simplest trick to reducing your stress levels during competition that you honestly might not believe me when I tell you, but I swear it is backed by science. As with all the other videos though, I am going to highlight a specific book. This one is called A Champion's Mind by Jim Afremow, not to be confused with The Champion's Comeback, which we went over in video 2. These are 2 different books because the last video was really about the 7-step process to overcoming failure. What happens in here that you need to do to overcome that failure? This one is about what we need to focus on in order to build up our champion's mindset, specifically geared for success. Links are always down in the description below, and I specifically link to audiobooks so that you can listen to them while you're hacking or while you're cleaning tack or making grain bags. Because riding and the success of your mental game is not just when you're in the tack, it's when you're not in the tack as well. And those countless hours we spend doing horse chores could literally be put toward your success at your next competition. So this book is designed to guide athletes develop their own championship mindset to, not only have success in sports, but in school, work, and life as well. And this book really does emphasize that your mental training and practice is just as important as your physical practice. And in video 2, I definitely outlined a study that was done on basketball players that proved that beyond a reasonable doubt. So in the book, they talk about there are 3 aspects to developing this mindset, and then there are 4 mental skills that you need to develop as an athlete. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to focus on the mental skills because otherwise this video would be an hour long. So I highly recommend you read the entire book or listen to the entire book. Like I said, link is down below. The 4 essential mental skills that you need as an athlete to develop. The first one is goal setting. You need to be able to set clear and achievable goals that provide direction and motivation. The book definitely guides you through the process of how to set goals that are specific and measurable, not to mention they're actually achievable, realistic, and then most importantly, they have a deadline aspect to them so that you're not just setting goals where I'm going to do this before I die. You're actually going to set goals that have an achievable outcome in a realistic timeline. So the second one is mental imagery or visualization, which is actually going to be the literal topic of video 4, so you're not going to want to miss the next video. But similar to the study that was done on the basketball players, in the book, Jim talks about the power of mental rehearsal. To picture yourself succeeding before you ever sit in the tack, step on the field, step on the court, wherever you compete, whatever sport you do. So the third one, if I could count, is self-talk, because the words that you say to yourself are completely and totally tied to your success. And this is, again, both in and out of your sport. And the book does teach you how to develop positive self-talk habits, which I think that probably everybody at this point, we need to pull that section out. Everybody needs to read that just by itself. And the fourth one is focus and concentration. So you have to learn how to block out distractions and stay focused. Now, when we develop our pregame ritual, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions that's specifically going to help you identify what is blocking you or what is distracting you. But the book also goes into helpful tips and tricks for how to develop this for yourself. It just goes in deeper in depth. And like I said, I don't want this video to be an hour long. So right now we're just going to overview the keynotes, and I highly recommend you listen to that book. Because of those 4 essential mental skills that all athletes need, some of these are going to be very relevant to developing our pre-ride ritual, like the self-talk and concentration. So I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I am going to ask you some questions that is going to lead you toward developing and designing your perfect pre-game ritual. Because we all approach riding really differently. And have you ever seen like that person in the barn aisle that's like super stressed and anxious while others are cool, calm, and collected? But the real question is why? So in order to do this exercise, I need you to grab like a piece of paper and a pen. And hey guys, so this is future Alyssa who is editing these videos right now. I did realize as I was going through them that there are a lot of tests and a lot of exercises and activities as I was creating these 5 videos. And so I actually created a website so that if you guys log in, I can give you a lot of free downloads and free workbook resources so that you can not only do the activities, but follow along and actually use these for success in the future. So back to your regularly scheduled programming. And sit down and close your eyes. Okay, so we now all have our eyes closed. And I want you to think to yourself, what calms you down when you're stressed? Does music calm you? Do you have positive affirmations that you say to yourself, like, I've got this? Do you do breathing exercises? I mean, do you do any sort of specific thing when you feel anxious or stressed that helps you get back in the present moment and calm down? So write down anything that resonates, that you do. Maybe I named it, maybe I didn't. Based on what you were just thinking about, pause the video and write down some actions that you do currently, whether it's in or out of the tack, that calm you down. Is it music? Is it self-talk? I hope nobody writes down I go on social media, but it could be true. I don't think social media is calming, but that could just be me. Okay, so I want you to close your eyes again, and I want you to ask yourself now, what environment helps you feel at ease when you have to do anything? Because this could be taking a test, this could be facing some sort of challenging situation at work, this could be before you ride in your competition. Like, what is the environment that helps you? Is it being alone? Is it being around a lot of supportive people? Is it being in a quiet environment? Is it being in a noisy environment? So also, by extension, are there specific people in your zone that either create more anxiety, or maybe there's others that you can think of that help you calm down? You know, when you're around your friends, they, help you relax, laugh, smile, versus perhaps being around, somebody that has some sort of expectation about what you're doing that could create more anxiety or stress. So pause the video and write down what you're thinking about what is your perfect environment for no stress. All right, so now that you've got that, lastly, I want you to write down a phrase or mantra that inspires you. So examples like, I'm prepared, I've got this. It doesn't have to be something that's also talking to yourself. It could be calm and confident, or progress and success. Think of something that resonates with you, or do you tell yourself whatever the words that the last words your trainer says to you in your warm-up? Is there any sort of mantra that your trainer says to you that helps inspire you when you ride? So pause the video and come up with some short but punchy, powerful phrases that resonate with you. Okay, so now I want you to look at the paper that you have, because right now you actually have written out, you have actions that you can take that help you calm down when you feel stressed. For me, this is music all the way. I've always found that music can immediately switch my mood, and it's a great way to also simultaneously block out the noise from the world around you, because in horse show environments, everybody around you is stressed. And so sometimes the stress you're feeling isn't yours. It's somebody else's stress that, it's your neighbor's stress. So any action that you have written down helps you to remain calm in stressful situations. So the first section is your actions that you can take. The second section was outlining your perfect environment, whether you're alone or with a group. Obviously, when you're at a horse show, it's really hard to be alone. But for me, when I, put my music on, that's how I retreat from, the busy show environment that's going on around me. And maybe perhaps in this environment section, you've identified some different people who either enhance this environment or hurt this environment. Anyone who knows me knows exactly who I am talking about when it comes to my perfect environment. When you are doing your pre-ride ritual, you need to put your own mental peace at the top of the priority list, along with your horses as well, but it needs to be of the utmost importance. Lastly, on this list, you have a few ideas of mantras that you can say to yourself that are inspiring, that motivate you, that power you up. Even though you have all that written down, we are not done yet, because this is just phase 1, meaning this is when you're tacking up, and phase 2 is when you're warming up. And I want to tell you this study done by Noelle Brick, PhD, which was published in The Psychology of Sport and Exercise in 2017. And the objective of this study was to examine how smiling affected physical and mental performance in sports. Now, you might be surprised to find out that what they found was smiling lowers perceived effort, meaning the athletes who smiled reported that it felt easier than the ones that didn't. I mean, honestly, the quote, "Time flies when you're having fun." I'm sure you're smiling when you're having fun, so this all makes sense. The second thing that they found is it improved efficiency, meaning that smiling actually reduces your oxygen consumption, making you more energy efficient, which of course translates to better performance in high pressure situations, which they also found that smiling led to stress reduction. Smiling signals your brain to release endorphins, which is the feel-good hormone, which then reduces stress and anxiety that significantly hinder performance quality. And 4, they actually found that smiling had a connection to confidence. They particularly found this beneficial right before or during competition, meaning right before you go in the ring. So this has been studied further since, but I swear to God, this is the simplest trick to reducing stress right before you enter the arena. And whether it is smile or laughter, both of these things help not only improve your performance, and it is scientifically proven. I mean, this is the closest thing that I have found to one of those magic pills of all the studying, all the things that I've learned. This is the closest thing to a magic pill for success that I have found. And how I personally do this is it's a visual in my head that always makes me laugh. And I would show you the video if I could, but honestly, it is in a box in storage somewhere. But no worries, because it is forever ignited in my brain. Now, I am going to have to admit to you guys that I used to be a cheerleader. I was recruited because I was a gymnast, but I was a cheerleader. And what you do when you compete in cheerleading is you compete and then you come off the stage and then you go over to the TV on the side and you actually watch your performance right after you're done. And what had happened during this specific performance is there were 10 seconds left of the routine. Like, it was almost over. And what happened was I tripped and had to basically crawl to our finish pose. But the funny part about this story is when you watch the video, I literally just go flying out of the screen. Like, I'm totally there because I'm in the front row. I'm right in the front. And I'm right there, and all of a sudden I just go, and I fly out of the screen. And I remember specifically when we all watched it as a team, they all turned around and looked at me like, what the hell happened to you? Because I flew. And it's not like somebody pushed me. I just tripped and flew to the side. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so your story does not have to be laughing at yourself. Maybe it's a fun time you had with your friends or a funny joke that always makes you laugh, but the point is to smile right before you go into the arena. And I kid you not, like, just try it. It is the easiest way to create mental success without actually trying. And pause the video, please, and tell me in the comments down below what image or funny story or joke makes you smile, because I would love to hear, or memory, like I would love to hear what you guys have come up with for your own personal version of this. But I don't want you guys to just write all this down and then forget it at your next horse show. So I want you to practice this at home. When you're in your jump lessons, what I want you to do is right before you take your turn, make yourself smile before you go. And do this until you smile without actually having to think about it. Now, if you go around and you have this fake crazy smile on, and you scare people, then, they're going to be laughing at you, which then might make you smile or laugh. Honestly, I wish I could show you that video, because I showed it to my college roommates and we literally laughed on the floor all night laughing at that video. Like, we weren't breathing. We were laughing so hard, and it makes me laugh and smile every time I think about it. And just note that your thing does not have to be horse related. It could be anything, just something that automatically makes you smile. And I want you to practice this even in your jump lessons, because what happens is when you're stressed at the horse show, you forget. You forget that you're supposed to make yourself smile, especially if you're stressed. Smiling feels counterintuitive, but that's why you have the story, the memory, the visual, whatever that makes you laugh automatically, because then you have that in your back pocket and you go, oh yeah, I'm supposed to smile. And then you picture me flying out of the freaking screen, and every single time. I really should go find that video. It is absolutely hilarious. But for those of you that are more serious and you're like, okay, I just won't do it. I just won't smile, which for shame, but whatever. So if you really are like, no, I really have to stay, I cannot laugh. Laughing is bad. So is still a serious exercise that you can do, and it's called box breathing. So this has also been proven to reduce stress. So what you do is you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and then hold that for 4 seconds. It's a proven technique to calm nerves and center your focus. So box breathing, 4 in, 4 hold, 4 out, 4 hold. At this point, though, we have all the building blocks of our perfect pre-game ritual and the easiest trick to success, which I know works because I used to use it accidentally when I would serve in restaurants. When I would drop the bill, I would always find a way to make them laugh or smile, because I always got a bigger tip if someone was smiling when they signed their bill. So smiling works and laughter works. I think laughter actually even it gets out some of that stress and anxiety, because everyone feels it. That's the big secret here, is that everyone actually does feel stress and anxiety, whether you are a brand new rider or whether you're an experienced rider. It's just different types of stress. So you have to have some of these tools in your mind ready to go, so that when you feel that stress, because we all inevitably feel it at one point or another, you can figure out how to calm yourself down. Again, these are not the only tricks that I have up my sleeve, because in the next video, I'm going to share a story about how visualization accidentally saved my life. And I've refined my process over the years, but this technique alone could be the one difference between you overcoming or falling further. As always, the links are down below, and please, please, please don't forget to pause this video and tell me what makes you smile or laugh in the comments below. And I will see you on the next one, where I'm going to teach you a method where you could literally get better at riding in your sleep. And I mean that literally. So let's turn your next setback into your biggest comeback yet, and I'll see you there.